Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is the 7th of February 2024. In this video, let us generate bullish and bearish trade setup for a monthly income trade and a weekly income trade. Before that, a small announcement. If this is your first video at our channel, please understand we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. And all the training lessons can be accessible from supply demand zone price action course playlist. I have provided the link to this playlist in this YouTube video description. By clicking on the link, you will get into this page, and all the training lessons are available. Go to the bottom of this page, starting from lesson 1.1 till the recent lesson are available in this playlist. Even the upcoming lessons also will be placed in this playlist. And please make use of this opportunity and strengthen your skills. I have also provided the link to our Telegram channel in this YouTube description, in this video description. Please also visit our Telegram channel and register so that every time when we release a new video, you will get an update in the Telegram channel. Thank you. Now let us get into our report generation. In supply demand zone top down analysis strategy builder, let us generate a bullish trade setup for a monthly income trade. In bullish trade setup for monthly income trade, the LTF time frame is daily and the entry zone should be demand zone. And you have to select the parameter bullish or bearish trade setup. In this parameter and daily time frame, you need to select bullish and generate the report. You got all the stocks that are supporting a bullish trade setup. Those who are not aware of this bullish and bearish trade setup, I have already explained in our training lesson. Probably it is lesson 14 or lesson 15. If I am not wrong, one of these lessons, you will find this trade setup and all the rules. So please go through those lessons. Now I will go through this list quickly. Any stock you want to refer, please pause the video. Otherwise the video length will increase. I am quickly scrolling down by giving few seconds time. This is a very big list. So total 103 stocks are currently supporting bullish trade setup. You know the reason. Now Nifty is close to the all-time high. So that's why majority of the stocks are supporting a bullish trade setup. Because we are filtering only stocks, equity stocks listed in F&O segment. Around 184 stocks are listed in F&O segment. Apart from that, I think 183 stocks. Apart from that, we have 17 indices also. Indices and sectors. All these are all we are analyzing. Okay, because the list is very big, we know how to filter these stocks at a further level. Because it's not possible for us to analyze all these stocks. Because we've been following this approach for in the last few videos. In case if you are new to this, if you are listening first time, let me explain quickly how we are filtering if the list is very big. We are almost 3 to 4 different filters we are using. Let me show you one by one. Let's go back. The first filter is we want only fresh zones. That's why we have selected a parameter called test count. And which time frame? Daily time frame, because all these zones are listed on daily time frame, LTF zones, all these zones are lower time frame zones. So I am setting the test count as 0, minimum 0, maximum 0. That indicates the zones are not tested, but still there could be some rejections from this zone. So let me click on this top-down strategy. Again I filter. Now the list is reduced. Still it is a big list. So let me go through this filtered list. Now the list is come down to 72 from 102 or 107. Still 72 is a very big number. That's why we are adding another filter. What is another filter? Reward. We want at least the stocks having a 5% reward on MIT trade, a minimum 5%. So that is the reason why we will go back, and here we have a parameter called minimum range. This is a D to D range, that is a distal line to distal line between demand and supply zones, or maybe distal line to ATH also if there is no supply zone. That is the way this filter will be working. And basically it is nothing but reward. So in daily time frame, I am setting 5%. The value 5 indicates 5%. So this is the minimum. This is the minimum percentage or minimum reward. Now let us filter. Now the list is further reduced, but still it is a big list. So total 43 stocks. These 43 stocks between demand zone to supply zone or between demand zone to all-time high, a minimum 5% reward is there. See, some are having 6%, 16%, 20% because these are all-time high stocks. Here you see this PNB is having both demand and supply zones. 35% difference is there between demand and supply zones. LIC Housing Finance, we have 10% reward. So this is the way this list is having a minimum of 5% and a maximum whatever it could be, beyond 5%. Because this list is big list, we have 43 stocks. It is not possible for us to analyze each and every stock from this list. So that's why we are using a trick. What is the trick? The stocks near to the demand zone, because they are having higher chances to hit the demand zone. And moreover, all these are all fresh zones. Which zones? Demand zones are fresh zones. If it is near to the zone, there are higher chances. Moreover, it is a bullish trade set of stocks. So that is the reason why we will generate multiple reports from 1% to 5%, because the minimum reward is 5%. So let us see from 1% to 5% how many stocks will be listed. So for that we have to use a parameter minimum price percent to reach the zone. Sorry, not minimum, maximum. Maximum price percent to reach the zone. So that means within whatever the percentage you specify, within that percentage, stock should be there. From demand zone to the percentage level. For example, I want within 1% level, how many demand zones are there? So for that in the daily time frame, let me set 1, the value 1%. Are there any stocks closed? Are there any stocks closed within 1% near to the demand zone, the daily demand zone? That is what the meaning. So let me filter. One stock is there. Nestle is there very close to the demand zone. But it is already moving towards all-time high. Sometimes what happens, even though the price direction is from demand zone to all-time high, all of a sudden what happens, maybe due to market conditions on a particular day, suddenly the price comes to the demand zone. Instead of moving to the all-time high, it comes to the demand zone, and pending orders in the demand zone will push the price again up. At the time, we get an entry. And after that, price will be moving very fast towards the all-time high. So in such kind of situation, we should not miss those stocks. See here, the test count is 0. It is a fresh zone. And uptrend, ITF trend is uptrend, HTF trend is uptrend, but LTF trend is sideways. Why it is sideways? You need to observe carefully. And it is low on the curve. And prices are moving from monthly demand zone to all-time high and weekly demand zone to all-time high. It is moving. It is an all-time high stock. Even daily time frame also, it is an all-time high demand zone. That's why it is not having a supply zone. Okay, we have one stock. But is there any guarantee that it will give an entry for us immediately? No, we don't know. Without giving an entry, it may fly. It might be moving towards all-time high. That possibility is also there. Then only one stock is there. Is it useful? We want more stocks now. So that's why now let us increase this max price to reach the zone. Now currently we set 1. Instead of 1, let us increase to 2%. Within 2%, how many? Within 2%, even Nestle also will come. But this is within 1% level. Within 2%, Nestle, some other stocks also will be listed. So let's go back. We will generate the report again by changing the 1% value to 2%. In this parameter, we changed maximum price percent. We changed 1 to 2. Now let us generate. Still within 2% also only one stock is there. Except this, no other stocks are available. So that's why what we do, within 3% we will check. Now let us change 2 to 3. See, within 3% level, we got another 4 stocks apart from Nestle. Now we have MRF is there, JK Cement is there, GAIL is there, DLF is there. All these stocks are having 0. But the only thing is, MRS is already given 2 rejections. I already told you, the rejections also should be considered as a test. But why I am not setting 0 for rejection count is, rejections will always help us in telling there is a strong order flow is there in that zone. In such kind of situation, if there are any opportunities, we should not miss them. That's why rejection count I am not setting to 0. But if you want a very pure fresh zone, then you have to set even rejection count also 0. Actually, I am in NeoStock software, I am differentiating between rejections and test. Actually, rejections also part of the test. But the reason why I differentiated is to identify strong order flow in the zone. If you don't want, it is your wish. You can ignore this stock. If the rejection count is there more than 0, you can ignore. But it is actually an advantage. It's not a disadvantage. Okay, now what we do, we want more stocks within 4%. Now, currently we filtered a maximum 3% level near to the demand zone. We filtered. Now we will filter maximum 4% level. The stocks currently closed 4% below the, within the demand zone, near to the demand zone. Now 3 I am changing to 4. Let me filter. Now the list is increased to 9. Now few more stocks we got. But all these stocks are moving towards either all-time high or towards the supply zones they are moving. None of them are moving towards the demand zone. You get an entry only if they change the direction and give an entry. You should not miss that. Every stock won't change the direction. Few stocks, all of a sudden they change, they give an entry, and again they move back. So such kind of any opportunity, immediately you have to grab. You should not miss it. And the last report in this bullish trade setup, let us change 4% to 5%. That means within 5% level, near to the demand zone, how many stocks are there? This is the final list. So 15 stocks are there. Let us don't go beyond this. Now you can identify your favorite stocks from this list, or you can also analyze all these stocks and keep them in our watch list. If anything is giving an entry, immediately you grab that opportunity. UBL is currently moving towards the demand zone, but this is within the 5% level. Already they are coming from supply zone. See, supply zone is already tested and pending orders pushed to the price. Always you look into the signal type. You will understand. Previously also I told you, the signal type always tells you the price direction in a lower time frame. See here in the price direction, I have given you only higher time frame and intermediate time frame. The reason why I did not give lower time frame is signal type will tell you. And moreover, this will differentiate whether it is really moving towards the normal demand zone or high liquidity demand zone or all-time high or all-time low. Such kind of scenarios it will tell, so that we will have a better clarity. See, if it is a high liquidity zone, we have to give more importance. More success rate will be there. Bullish trade setup plus high liquidity zone combination is a deadly combination. Okay, this is about monthly income trade, bullish trade setup. Now let us generate monthly income trade, bearish trade setup. In monthly income trade, lower time frame is daily. So we are selecting daily. And our in monthly income trade, bullish trade setup, bearish trade setup, we have to filter the supply zones. That means filter means all the parameters, all the checks should be performed on the supply zone. And bullish or bearish trade setup on daily time frame, and LTF is the daily, we have to select bearish. Now bearish trade setup stocks will be listed. Only one stock is there. Even yesterday also this is the only one listed. But this supply zone is pierced. So that means we don't have any opportunities at present. See, the reason is market is whenever our market is at near the all-time high or at the all-time high, mostly you don't find bearish trade setup related stocks. It is hard to find. So let's go back. Go back. Now we have to generate weekly income trade, bullish trade setup. Now we have completed monthly income trade, bullish and bearish. Now third one is weekly income trade, bullish trade setup. In weekly income trade, your lower time frame is 75 minutes. It can be 125 or 75. I am focusing only 75. But our software supports both. And because it is a bullish trade setup, I am selecting entry zone as a demand zone. And in bullish or bearish trade setup, in this parameter, now we have to select 75 minutes because it is LTF. And you have to select bullish. Now let us generate. Now we got a again big list. Let me scroll down quickly. But you know how, any stock you want to refer, you have to pause. You have to pause the video and study. So total 81 stocks are filtered. Because 81 stocks means it is very difficult for us. So let us follow the same thing what we did for monthly income trade, bullish trade setup, same filters. But the value slightly we will change. First one is we want fresh zones. So let us do that. For fresh zones, what you have to do? Test count you have to set 0, 0. But in which time frame you have to set? Because this is a weekly income trade, LTF is 75 minutes. So for 75 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0, indicates test count 0. Fresh zones. Maybe few zones might be having rejections. Now let me scroll down. Now the list is come down to 50 from 72. Still 50 is a big number. Now what we do? Reward. Because this is a weekly income trade, now we will set a minimum 3% profit. That means minimum 3% reward should be there. Reward. So for that what I am doing? I am going to the parameter minimum range. This is a D to D range, distal line to distal line or distal line to all-time high. In 75 minutes, I'm selecting the value 3. A minimum 3% reward should be there. Such kind of stocks we want to filter. Let me click on top-down strategy. See, now the list is reduced. It's reduced to 21 stocks. Now it is easy for you to analyze. Still, if you want to know which stocks are near to the demand zone, 75 minutes demand zone. So for that you can add further filter, that is maximum price to reach the zone. So within the 75 minutes, let us check three conditions: within 1% level, within 2% level, and within 3% level. So within 1% level, how many? 3 stocks are there. All these demand zones test count is 0, but only Titan is having already 2 rejections from this zone. That means it is already tested 2 times. But why these rejections? Is there any strong order flow is there in that zone? That you have to identify by analyzing this stock. But one point you have to observe, this is a low on the curve, that's a good scenario. Weekly is uptrend, daily is uptrend, only 75 minutes is downtrend. The reason is it is low on the curve. By the time prices reach, that 75 minutes trend will change. But it doesn't mean it is not bullish. Always we look for ITF time frame to check our trend. HTF time frame is only supportive. Either it should be uptrend or it should be sideways. That is what we discussed in our bullish and bearish trade setup discussions in our training lessons. I think lesson 14, if I am not wrong, 14 or 15. Okay. Now these 3 stocks are within 1% near to the zone, but already it started moving towards the supply zone. In case if price change, maybe change the direction, maybe tomorrow just give an entry again, immediately they will move up quickly. If any such opportunity is there, make use of that opportunity. Or maybe recently it might have tested because there is a rejection count is there. Okay, now let's go back. Let us see within 2% level how many stocks are there. Now I am changing in 75 minutes 1 to 2, from 1% to 2%. So within 2%, how many stocks which are near to the zone? Now the list is increased to 6. Out of these 6, 3 stocks are within 1% level and remaining 3 stocks are within 2% level. And let us prepare the final list within 3% level. So I am changing the value from 2% to 3%. So one more stock is increased, so total 7. So this is about bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Now let us generate bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Because it is a weekly income trade, our LTF zone, lower time frame zone, should be 75 minutes. It is a bearish trade setup. Our entry zone should be supply zone. And in this bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes, we have to select a bearish. Let us generate. So 8 stocks are filtered. Now it is easy for you to study. I don't require to filter, but still if you ask me, I will quickly do that. Let me go back. Let us filter from these 8, let us filter fresh zones. Only stocks having fresh zones. So for the test count on 75 minutes should be changed to 0 and 0. Now 5 stocks are filtered. These 5 stocks are having fresh 75-minute supply zones. But one stock is already, Cub is already having a rejection. Why rejection? Strong order flow might be there. So you need to look into the chart and you have to analyze. Okay, this is about fresh zones. Out of this, a minimum 3% reward. How many stocks are having? Let us filter. Minimum 3%. So for that, our minimum range, that is a D2D range, that is nothing but reward. So I am setting 3. Now list is reduced to 3. Now it is easy for you to focus on these stocks. You don't require to check whether near the zone. Anyway, you will be able to, by analyzing, you will be able to understand how far it is from your supply zones. Anyway, the stock is moving, AU Bank is moving towards the supply zone. Moreover, it is a high liquidity zone, a fresh zone. And Z is also moving towards the supply zone. This is also high liquidity zone, fresh zone. But remember, all these 3 zones are high liquidity zones. Even Cub also having high liquidity. But always remember, whether it is bullish or bearish trade setup or fresh zones, always you have to fine tune the zone up to 5 minutes level. Not for your entry point of view. If the risk is high within your 75-minute zone or daily zone, definitely you do some technique, maybe type 1 proximal or type 2 or type 3, or even fine tuning the zone and reduce. But why I am telling you to fine tune the zone is to check the quality of the zone. Because we identified a way. What is that? When a zone can be violated, especially fresh zone. When a fresh zone can be violated, we identified. How it will be identified? Up to 5 minutes, time frame. Anywhere, maybe in 15 minutes or maybe in 75 minutes. If the price structure is not good, there are higher chances that the zone will be violated. There are higher chances. So that is the reason why fine-tuning the zone, not only for the risk point of view, but also checking the quality of the zone. That way we will avoid many failures. That way we get more success rate for our trades. So this is about bullish and bearish trade setup reports for monthly income trade and weekly income trade. I hope this information is useful to you. Let us all meet again in our next video. Thank you.